everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to start the Happy Planner budget series that I've been thinking about, and I wanted to show you how I do our family budget using my Happy Planner. I don't specifically use very many Happy Planner inserts for this process, but I do keep our budget in the back of my Franken Planner. So this has kind of our family schedule, my wellness journaling, social media plans, and then it also has this extension pack in the back, and it's chores, meal plans, budget, and then it also has a projects tab. So I'm going to be working in my budget section, and with this extension pack, this is the one budgeting insert that you get. And basically what this does is it helps you break down your budget by category each month. And this is a great place to start. I actually use something very similar to this. So it's a great place to start, but then I like to go a few steps further in my budgeting process. I like to budget my account down to zero, meaning that every dollar that comes into our account over the month gets placed somewhere. So whether that's going towards a bill or a savings account or whatever my categories are, it always comes out to zero at the end because I want all of my money to have a job. So that way I don't have any money sitting out there that doesn't really belong to a category and could possibly be misused for some reason. So after I get done budgeting my monthly income down to zero, then I will go and get cash. And so what I do is I find my different items under my categories that I spend cash on and go to the bank and pull out a certain amount of money, and I put it in my cash wallet. So this is a cash wallet that I got off of Amazon. And these are the zipper envelopes, and I just cut off the zippers because it was kind of chunky up here at the top. And then I labeled them using my Cricut. So I will link these items below. This is a great way to get started with a cash wallet. So, okay, let's get started. Those are kind of what I use. I guess I should also mention I also use the mild liner highlighters, but you can use any highlighters, or you can even use, like, if you've got a package of Crayola markers laying around, go ahead and use those too, because we're all about saving money here. We don't need to go out and buy more stuff, right? So to start off with, I have printed out some printables from Etsy, and they're from a shop called Corey B Printables. And there are all sorts of financial printables that you can get that are sized for the classic Happy Planner. This was just one of the financial packages that kind of had everything that I was looking for. And there's also one more package I might go back and get from a different Etsy shop. But anyway, that's for a different video. So what I start off with is this annual financial overview. And I still need to fill this out for the year because I've been kind of slacking in my budgeting. And I might just go ahead and gray out the first quarter and start with April. So I already have my, excuse my arm, I already have my budgeting going for the month of April. And so I can fill out April for the most part. And then what I like about this is when you get to the end of the year, you can compare your best month and your worst month. And then using the documentation that you have in your budget planner, you can go back and say, oh, this is why it was such a bad month, or oh, this is why it was a good month. So this is a really helpful document just kind of at the end of the year to give you a good idea on like what months went well, what months didn't, and like, is there anything that you can go do differently for the following year. Then on the back of this sheet, I have my budget categories. So budget categories would be like these categories, these big categories that I use different ones from the Happy Planner, but I color coded them. So when I'm working with them in my expense log, I color code them, and I can tell what expense is what. And we'll get to that next. So I'll go ahead and put that in there. The next thing that I have is a printable from Corey B. Printables, and it's talking about your upcoming expenses for the year. And what I decided to do in this is to put larger expenses that aren't normally in my budget. So I have like a girls' night at the end of the month. We have a camping weekend next weekend. We're taking a family trip in June. So that sort of thing. So I put those in here, and those are just great for me to come back and refer to so that I know like where my savings goals need to go. If I do any savings challenges, maybe some of the money that I save will go towards one of these things. And then the next thing I have is my monthly budget planner. So this is very similar to the Happy Planner. It just has some more categories, and these are the categories that I like to use. So up at the top, you have your income, and that's where you write down the income that's coming into your account for the month. So any paychecks or anything earned. And then you've got your utilities, personal expenses, gifts and donations, debts. So this could be like credit card or car payment, savings that you want to do. So if you have like a special savings account, maybe you're working on saving up for a project around your house, or to go somewhere, maybe on a big vacation, you would put that there. You have your food and drink. So like dining out, grocery shopping, anything related to your home, your mortgage can go there, your rent, transportation. So if you have car maintenance, gas, if you ride public transit, maybe that's on here. And then healthcare, if you pay for healthcare out of your pocket, or you have co-pays, or if you take supplements or anything like that, that could go in this section. And then there's just an other, and it's kind of a catch-all for anything that doesn't get covered here. Up here, you have your accounts. So this could be most likely a savings account and a checking account, but you might have multiple savings accounts. Like I said, if there's something big you're saving for, sometimes it's easier at your bank to set up a special account for it, and it's just designated for that one big vacation or house project or whatever. So that's what I use for the month. And I can kind of show you on this month how that works out. So I've filled everything out. And then since I use a cash envelope system, I went through and highlighted the items that I'm going to take out in cash. And then that money is going to get taken out of the bank and put into my envelope wallet. Now, some things don't come out in cash. So my husband doesn't like to do the cash envelope system. He carries a wallet, and he doesn't want a big wad of envelopes and cash to carry around. So things that he purchases usually include like house maintenance items, vehicle maintenance items, and gas. And so those all come out of our account electronically, either through debit or credit. So when I gather my cash envelope information off of my monthly budget, I made this worksheet to where I list the categories that I'm going to use for my envelopes, the amount of money that's going to be put in those envelopes, and then the cash breakdown of how I want to get that cash back from the bank. And what I do is I just do this worksheet, I take it with me, I fold it up, I give it to the teller, they give me the right bills in the right amounts, and then I bring it back home and open it up and put those amounts into my envelopes, and I'm all set for the month. And I just do things once a month. We tend to work our budget a month in advance. So for example, the money that we get paid in April is what we spend in May. So I already have all the money that we're going to have for May by the time April is over, if that makes sense. So once we have our cash envelopes settled and we're going into kind of our spending for the month, that's where the expense tracker comes in. And what I do is I write down every single transaction that comes out of either cash envelopes, our debit account, or on our credit card. And our credit card is something that we pay off at the end of every month. And it's mainly, it's a Costco credit card, so we use it for our gas purchases. If we're gonna be traveling, we use it. And then also our Costco purchases. And it gets paid off every month, and we collect the points or the cash back at the end of the year. So we keep track of everything, and then I write the category over here. So that's where these highlighted categories come into play. So say on the first of the month, we have our car insurance that comes out. I'm gonna write that it's insurance, and it's going to get highlighted in purple. If I go grocery shopping at the beginning of the month, I'm gonna write down the date, where I went grocery shopping, the amount, and that it was groceries, and it's gonna get highlighted blue. And I'm gonna do that all throughout the month. And it can be a lengthy process depending on how many transactions you have. So this is us so far for April. We have about 2 pages. But it's worth it, because in a following video, I will show you how to wrap up your budget for the month. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna find out what percentage of our budget we used for each of these categories. And we're gonna see how things line up and see if we can find any place in our budget that needs work. Maybe we're overspending in a certain area, or maybe when we're doing our monthly budget, when we're sitting here writing out, how much we're spending on each item, maybe we're just off, because right now, prices are crazy. So the prices of everything have really increased. And so your gas budget might need to be increased. Your grocery budget might need to be increased. And so what that'll do at the end of the month, when we look at kind of the percentage of our budget that we're spending, it'll show us kind of, are we budgeting the right amount? And then that'll help you prepare for the following month. You can adjust those numbers, and you can there's always, whether it's an income issue, it's a spending issue, or it's just a budgeting issue where you just need to move some numbers around differently so that you're coming out where you want to be with your plan. So that's how I'm getting started for the month of May. I've already started in April. I didn't want to bring you into April in the middle of the month because I think that would be confusing. So that's where I'm starting with the month of May. And so the next video that I'll do will probably be a check-in video once May gets started. And we can kind of see where everybody's at with their expenses, and we will go from there. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye.